So I get asked all the time if I provide diet plans. And in short, I always say no. So in this video, I want to explain a little bit more about why I don't and some problem areas that arise with diet plans long term. One of the first things that I generally tend to ask people that want a diet plan is, why do you need a diet plan? And generally the reaction is, I need to know what to do. I need to know what to eat. And the reason that might be a bad thing is because that's like someone saying, give me a gym program because I just need you to tell me what to do and what exercises to perform. And you give them the exercises without any kind of explanation, without any backstory, without any type of screening, and you just kind of hope that it works. It's like putting your dartboard on the wall, putting a blindfold on, and hoping at some stage that you hit a bullseye or a triple 20 or whatever it is that you're looking for. So what I like to ask first, obviously, is why are you asking for a diet plan? It generally comes down to these reasons here, is that people generally don't have an overall awareness or an education or a knowledge base around things like calories. So people don't know, right, how many calories should I be taking in? Should I be tracking calories? Wouldn't it just be easier if someone calculated my calories for me and gave me foods that fit into those calories? Next is portion sizes. If you're not interested in counting calories, if you're eating too much, then chances are your portion sizes are way too large. Do you know, if you're supposed to be having a cupped handful of carbohydrates, are you having 4 at each meal? Are you simply overdoing it on certain foods? And do you only need to cut back on your portion sizes and not overly worry about calories, because this will initially get you the results that you want to get? Are you aware of your macros? So your protein, your carbohydrate, and your fats, what they do, why we eat them, and where to get them. Meal timing is also a big one. Meal plans, or diet plans as they can be called as well, can generally have something like, 7:30 is breakfast at scrambled eggs XYZ, 12 p.m. or 12:30 p.m. is lunch, you have this, that and the other, 5 p.m. dinner, and snacks can be at like 3 o'clock and 8 o'clock at night or whatever it might be. So meal timing, another thing about meal timing is, for the majority of people it doesn't really matter. Do you know, if you're having breakfast at 8 a.m, does it really matter if you have breakfast at 10? If you normally have lunch at 2 p.m, does it matter if you have it at 12:30? Because overall, the calories and the portion sizes and the split between the macros is probably going to be more important than your meal timing. The frequency of your meals is also going to matter hugely. So do you eat twice a day? Do you eat 4 times a day? Do you eat at 8 in the morning, 10 in the morning, 12, 3, 6? Are you someone that gets up late, has a big lunch, has a decent sized dinner, and 2 meals a day? That's it. Okay, so it depends what way you want to work that. So factors to consider, and again, these are reasons why I don't offer diet plans, is I have no idea the person's likes or dislikes in terms of their food. Now, I know people will probably say, well, Mark, why don't you just fucking ask them, right? If I'm going to take the time to ask them all of this, you can come up with your own diet plan. Makes sense, right? So likes and dislikes. Again, if I give somebody just a generic diet plan and it has eggs and mushrooms for their breakfast, but they're not a fan of eggs and they definitely don't like mushrooms, then they're going off plan straight away and they're like, I need something else on that. And you're like, well, what would you like instead of mushrooms? And they're thinking, do you know what, I'll have tomatoes and spinach. Okay, well, you're designing your own meal plan here. Again, the schedule and the time available. If you're telling someone that they need to have a 4-egg omelette with different types of fruits and vegetables with their breakfast in the morning, but they have 3 kids and they're rushing to get out of the house in the morning to get to work, to get to school, to get to creche, wherever it may be, then they may not have the time available to make that type of breakfast. Would they be much better off having just a small selection of fruit or something quick on the go with a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, and worry a little bit later in the day about their first proper big meal? Next up is their cooking ability. And this applies to me as much as it applies to anyone else out there watching this video. Some dishes I can cook. Other dishes I'm bloody useless at cooking. I only made my first pot of soup like about 2 years ago, because I wasn't sure how much water to add, how much stock, how much vegetables do I boil it first, what way do I do it. So if you're giving somebody a meal plan, you're trusting that they have the skill and ability in the kitchen to cook those foods, prep those meals. If they don't have that, again, they're going off plan. So if somebody has zero cooking ability, then you're not probably going to give them a really complex meal plan and with a lot of prep involved, because it's just going to set them up for failure. The next thing is their finances. Again, it depends on how much someone is willing to pump in. If someone has €50 a week for their personal food shop, but you have them in their meal plan having high-end fillet steaks, smoked salmon, you have them eating kind of expensive foods, then the chances are they're not going to stick to it, because it's going to be too dear for them to actually afford it. And the last thing is, what happens when the plan ends? You get your meal plan. What happens when it's over? You say, right, this is your meal plan for the next 6 weeks. What happens then? You might need to educate yourself on how to do this into the future. So why not do it at the very start? So don't look for the meal plan initially. Look for the help with your calories, portion sizes, macros, mealtime and frequency, and sort out this stuff here, your likes and dislikes, your own schedule or the time available to prep your meals, your own cooking ability to do it, and the finance you have available to get through it too. So let's look at here. Life is not on plan, okay? We all have work, family, we might have health issues, and special occasions will crop up. What happens if you have a 6-week meal plan, but all of a sudden it's your birthday, or it's movie night, or it's your anniversary, or something comes up and then you're off plan? Okay, again, and it creates this all or nothing approach. If work gets busy and you have to stay back late and you don't get to make the dinner that's on your plan, if your family don't like the foods or the meals that are on your plan and you cook on 2 separate meals, is your partner cooking 2 separate meals? Will they want to do that for very long? Your own health, you might get sick, okay, and you might not have an appetite, and all of a sudden the meal plan goes out the window and you simply eat whatever you feel comfortable eating at that point. Your own current habits, here's the crux of it. With your current habits, aim for better. If your current nutrition, your current diet as a whole is causing you to see incremental increases in your weight, or your body shape is changing in a negative way in your eyes, then aim for better. Okay, if you move from having a can of Coke a day to having a can of Coke Zero, if you go from having no vegetables or fruits in a single day to having 1 piece of fruit per day for a week or two, aim for those small adjustments. It doesn't have to be a massive big overhaul initially, because again, it can be too overwhelming and it can set you up for failure long term. Here's what I say: make your own goddamn plan. Stop looking for someone like me saying, Mark, I need a plan. Make your own. Write down 2 or 3 meal ideas for breakfast, lunch and dinner of foods that you enjoy, foods that you like, and foods that you know you can cook, and foods that you're happy enough to prep, and foods that you can afford, and stick to that plan. But leave a little wiggle room for it, all right? Don't be overly upset if your meal plan has down salmon with veggies, but all of a sudden you come home and your partner's cooking your burgers, or there's lasagna ready to rock and roll. Leave that little bit of wiggle room there. So you know, right, it's not what I had on the plan, but it's good food, it's nutritious food, and I'm just going to mind my portion sizes. Use the meal plan as a guide and not an all or nothing approach. So don't think, oh, I'm off plan, I failed, I give up, I quit. Don't quit. You have to keep turning up day in, day out to make the changes to your nutrition work long term and create these new habits, make them sustainable. And it must fit around your life. Okay, it can't be a meal plan that has you sitting down to eat 5 meals a day. If you have a load of kids running around, you have a busy work life, you have a busy social life, it's just not going to work long term. You're going to rip up the piece of paper that you spent a few bob on, you're going to throw it away and say, that didn't work, or that trainer is useless, or that dietitian is useless, it didn't work, they didn't give me the help I needed. Sometimes when it comes to a diet plan, the diet plan is what you want, but it's not what you need. I hope the video helped. If you want to leave a little bit of feedback, comments, wherever they may be, or you can email me at markcoffeecoaching@gmail.com. markcoffeecoaching@gmail.com. Thanks for watching.